Welcome to the PFO channel. I'm Jim. Well, in the last video, I mentioned at the very end of it, if you watched it that long, that when I was bringing this in from the woods, I hosed off some of the mud and I noticed a couple of things that need a little bit of maintenance on them. So let's take care of that right now. I'll show you what I found. The first thing I noticed was when I was tracking back in from the woods, it seemed to be drifting to the right. And on these controls, I was just holding both of them as far forward as they would go. So I know I had the same amount of pressure on the levers, but every 10 or 15 feet or so, I had to readjust it to keep it going where I wanted. And my first thought was, oh no, I've got some sort of a hydraulic leak, maybe. Something maybe going wrong on one of my drive motors. But when I got back up here to the yard and started pressure washing it, I noticed that this track right here is still got good tension on it. There's supposed to be a little bit of movement in that. You don't want them over tight or you'll just stretch them. But over on this side, you'll notice that there's a definite sag in that just by looking at it, and look at how much play that has in there. So that track has either stretched or loosened up. Now I have added the lock nuts on the tensioners in there, so hopefully the lock nut and the tensioner haven't both come loose. This is definitely too much slack, and that almost certainly explains why I was tracking a little bit to the right. So let's bust in there and have a look and adjust this tension back out. Oh, look at that. Yeah. So my jam nut is loose. All right, so that explains that. I ordered these nuts and the 36mm wrench to tighten them with, both from Amazon, and the nut got here much quicker than the wrench. So I used a different, I think I used channel grips gently to snug that down. So I didn't really have a good wrench on that in the first place. When I got my wrench in, I should have gone around and re-snugged that, and I didn't. So shame on me, but better late than never, I suppose. And by the way, if you don't have one of these bad boys, there's the 36mm combination wrench that fits just perfectly on that nut in there. So that's what I need to tighten it down. But first, before I do that, I need to tweak on the tensioner. And 18 is for the actual adjustment. But I'm not going to adjust this while it's sitting here on the cement. I'm going to show you the preferred way of adjusting these tracks. I've got that set so that the hydraulic cooling fan comes on as soon as I turn on the main power switch, so I don't forget to turn the cooling fan on. But right now, I don't want that extra noise. And you'll notice that this is strategically parked with the blade in the back. So choke here. Okay, those are up, and as long as I don't have any hydraulic leaks, it should stay up. But notice that I put some blocks of wood under that track, right in line with one of these idlers, just in case my pressure somehow gets lost while I'm near this thing. I don't want any of my appendages getting trapped under that track should it decide suddenly to come down. See all that play? And I'm going to assume that turning it clockwise, if I was looking at the end of it, yeah, you can see that's bringing up that track. So the fact that this was loose in there is encouraging. That tells me that it's more likely that it was just backing off rather than already stretching out my tracks that much. That is a much better situation. Now what I'm going to do is put that where it is and see how much I can flex that. And that's flexing about a 1/2 inch. I'm going to just go over and see what the other side is. So I'm going to call this side good. And look at that. I've got about 1/2 inch up just by luck. So that's good. That's my 1/2 inch up. So I'm going to go ahead and get that finger tight and then lock it in. Oh, I'm liking that. So that is nice and locked into place now. Okay, what else I got? Now, before I do the other couple of things on here, I want to get this down off of there where it is more safe. The next thing isn't one of the things I noticed while I was washing it off, but it's something that was driving me nuts while I was digging. I really can't blame it on this. I was nuts long before I bought this machine. But one of the things that was irritating me out in the woods was that there was a lot of rattling coming from this. And just by looking at that, show you what I'm concerned about. See this gap in here? Well, that was doing that. So even if this thing is not an OSHA approved rollover protection structure, its best chance of protecting me is if all the nuts and bolts are tight. That seems obvious. And these are 17s, I believe. Yeah. Oh yeah, that wasn't even close. The deep drive on the side with the bolt sticking out. Okay. Good. Might as well, let's put them all. Those were significantly loose as well. Good. And we'll get this side too. Much better. All right, now the thing I discovered while I was hosing it off is right down here. Notice these witness marks on all these connections. Those were put on at the factory. And there, notice this one right here is shifted. That one's not shifted. That one's shifted. And that one's good. See that? Target right back up to where ought to be. You know what? I'm going to give this one just a nudge. There we go. Everything looks good down on the bucket and the deal. I really need to get myself the crossbar that ties into the bolts here and here and goes across there. Those are a sweet deal. I've also seen some that they put sheet metal. They have the crossbar there, and then they put a piece of sheet metal up and over there, and it just keeps the dirt from piling in there, because as you're scooping, every time you're taking a scoop, it's getting some in the bucket, but it's pushing the rest all up in here. And the way I like to run this thing is with the blade in the back dug into the ground, so that to counteract that Newton's third law thing. But having that back there exposes all your hydraulics up here to whatever stones and gravel just kind of keep encroaching on that area with every scoop of the bucket. So I'm putting that on my high priority list. All right, what else we got? The other thing is inside the engine compartment. Now, don't mind me doing a little showing off here when I pop the hood. Now, you'll notice that I didn't have to take off 16 bolts. If you don't know what I'm talking about there, go check out my other video about the things you need to know before buying one of these. That hood popping open is just such a luxury. This is where our Lovejoy coupling is inside this, and they've got a nice cast aluminum standoff, not only providing the distance between the hydraulic pump and the drive shaft coming out the engine, it also gives a nice shield here in case the coupling were to come apart at high RPM. Anyway, on the bolts holding this together, while I was down here checking the oil, I noticed up here we've got the ground, the main ground, and that's Mr. Loosey Goosey right there. So that thing needs to be tightened up, or else I would be wondering why all of a sudden my electrical stuff was not doing the sorts of things electrical stuff does. And it would have been a bad ground, and I'd have searched all over for it before I found it. What does that look like? A 14? That's what I thought. Okay. That's good. Well, that's all the stuff that I noticed this time around, and I'm sure every time I use this for a few hours, it's going to need some sort of maintenance. That's just the nature of these animals. All right, I hope it helps. If it did, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thanks a lot for watching. PFO channel out.